What is happening, everybody? Welcome back to the Red Wanderers channel. It's a new video. It's league predictions because the split is happening now. Tomorrow it starts and it's so tight in the table. I thought I would do another predictions for the end of the season. We'll come back and check them. But if you like that new intro, please leave a comment saying if you liked it or not. But let's get in to number 12. Getting into number 12, I think this is really obvious, but as much as I would love to see the great escape happen for Portadown, I'm going to go for the Ports. Niall Curry has done an unbelievable job to even give them a standing chance of staying in the Irish League for next season. But I think it's just too little too late. 7 points behind Dungannon, but you never know in the Irish League what could happen. But they just have not been good enough this season, to be honest. I can't even remember who their manager was before Niall Curry, but he's came in, as I said, done amazingly for the club, amazingly to give them a standing chance. But anyway, let's get into number 11. Number 11 is Dungannon. I think Dungannon are going to go down to play a playoff against second in the league, I think it is, whoever that is in the championship. But I think this is really obvious. Dungannon have... what a season they've... It's not what a season, to be fair. I don't know what I'm talking about because they're 10th in the Irish League, but they went on a mad Irish Cup run, got to the semis, ruined Climble's season. What more could they have wanted? But I just don't think they... It's a toss-up between them and Newry and Portadown, to be fair, but I do think Dungannon just aren't good enough to finish, just stay in the league, to be honest. But I'll be doing a playoff prediction whenever they're confirmed. But anyway, let's get into number 10. In the number 10, and we've got a very unlikely team in number 10. I'm going to go for the Newry City. I think they will just do enough to stay in the Irish League. I actually think they're a decent team. We beat them 2-1 in our last game. They were a solid enough side. Their goal was so charming. But you have to get them. But I think they've done really well to come up from the championship, stay in the Irish League. They just are decent enough to stay in the Irish League. They're better than Portadown, they're better than Dungannon, and they're going to be my number 10. Getting into number 9 it is, we've got Ballymena. They have just been shocking this season. But again, like Dungannon, they've got a semi-final in the Irish Cup, but unfortunately they won. They're against Crews in the final. Not unfortunately, very fortunately, they're in the final against Crews on a Sunday as well. But we're not talking about the Irish Cup right now, we're talking about the Irish League. And I think Ballymena will come in this in 9th because their financial problems off the pitch are absolutely horrendous. Allegedly, I'll say allegedly, but their performances have been horrendous. Like this will be probably one of my biggest memories of the season. Getting beat by them 4-1. That was the worst game I've been to this season by far. But that was a great result for the Hemmings on the other hand. They beat big teams this season, to be fair. I think they beat the Crews. They always lie down against the Blues, obviously because of big David Jeffrey. But yeah, I think 9th is it's not good for Ballymena, to be fair. They should be pushing higher for that 7th, but they still have a chance. Moving into number 8, and I'm going to go for Carrick Rangers. Again, they're all pushing for that number 7, all 3 of them, but I just think Carrick won't have enough to get that 7th place. But I think they've had an alright season as well. It's just what you'd expect from Carrick. Taylor's Avenue is a tough place to go, as most fans will know. Like, they beat Linfield at Taylor's Avenue in one of the first games of the season. They drew with us after getting 3-1 down and got back to 3 each. But I really thought a few weeks ago they would have given the Glens a better game. I think they got beat by them like 5-1 or something like that. But I think 8, I really don't know who's going to get 7th place. This is just me obviously predicting and guessing, but this could end up a whole different way. But I'm still going to stick with Carrick in number 8. They've got a few very good players, like Ben Tilney, they got in a new contract. Stuart King, they got in a new contract, I actually like him as a manager. But anyway, let's get into the all-important number 7. Now, the all-important number 7 is obviously, you can probably guess it, it's Glenavon. they've just been on an absolutely unbelievable run of form, beating the Glens, they're beating Coleraine. I think, if I remember, they got a 2 each draw in the last minute against us as well. But I think this will be so good for Glenavon. I think they got it last season, a European playoff, but it's just gonna, I think that they have a good enough squad. It's Fitzpatrick's last few games, to be fair, because I think his contract's up at the end of the season, and he'll definitely go to a top 16, 100%. But anyway, I think this is a solid enough place for Glenavon. Getting into that number 6 spot, that's the moment we've all been waiting for. I think this is the easiest of the 6. It's Coleraine. They've had a good enough season, to be fair. Getting to that cup final, which obviously I went to, but they didn't win it. They got beat by the Blues, and also they went on some mad run of form from like November to January, and then got beat by the Blues twice, I think it was, at Windsor. But yeah, I just don't think I have enough to climb above the likes of the Crews or the Glens. But I think 6th just is Coleraine, isn't it? So it was last season, it is this season. Now let's get into 5th. Get into number 5, I think it's going to be Glentoran. Now they've got 2 games at home in the split. One of them's the Clinville, and I don't know who the other one's against. I think they've got away to Linfield, away to Larne in the first game, and away to Crews. So it's Coleraine at home. But I just think going away in the split is so hard to do, winning games against these big teams at their stadiums. But I think Decents have had a very, very mixed season. It's not a good season by any standards for a club like Glentoran. Like that, all that drama with Mick McDermott, all the fans out screaming at him. Gabe will know all about it. But that was just shocking. They were unbelievable at the start of the season. Everyone was saying, oh, they're going to win the league. No. Then they started balling it. The smaller teams got slapped. They beat Linfield. They still didn't beat us even when they were in their top form. They slapped Larne 4-0 at the start of the season. Also to do with the Glens, they brought in so much players at the start of the season, so much money was spent, and they've had this abolishing season. It was shocking. But I think Rodney has a good chance next season if they bring in the players that he wants. But I think they're going to finish 5th. Now, moving on to 4th, and this is so tough to pick between the 2 sides of North Belfast, but I'm going to go... See, if I go Crews, people are just going to say I'm biased. But if I go... Oh, I really don't want to know, but I'm going to go for the Crews. Just because I think Clinville have a big advantage, which I'll talk about in a minute. But the Crews have nearly been... You just can't beat them at Seaview. You honestly cannot beat them at Seaview. The Crews have 3 out of their 5 games at home. But I think that's really positive, to be fair. They, as I said, nearly unbeatable at Seaview. I actually don't know their statistics at Seaview. It might be unbeaten, but I think they might have got beat by some random team. They beat Linfield, they beat us, they slapped us, they drew with us. But it's really hard to pick between 4th and 3rd, because 4th, people don't realise it, but it actually does mean a lot to finish 3rd, because I think you get home in playoffs. But as I said, this is a tough one, but I'm going to go with the Crews. Now, if you go and watch my other predictions, I said that the Reds were going to win the league, right? Because they were in prime form. I think after that they went and beat Linfield 1-0. But I'm going to have a little talk about Clinville right now. Whenever I said that, they were zooming at that top of the league. They were unbelievable. Obviously, as I said, beat Linfield, but then they went and drew to Carrick, as I said earlier on in the video. Now, 3rd, because I think Decents and the Crews have basically level teams, but I think Clinville will edge it because they've got 4 out of the 5 games at home, which is a huge advantage going into the split. But I think the Reds are badly... I hate saying this, but they have. If it was any other club, I would say it. I think they've badly bottled it, to be honest. There's like... Now, our strong points of the season have been getting players like Sean Herb, playing. He's been unbelievable this season, up there with Climble's player of the season. But Ryan Kern obviously out for 3 months, didn't help us with anything. Parkhouse coming in. Now, Parkhouse hasn't been bagging the goals, but I still love him as a player, to be honest. And I think it'd be really unfortunate not to get second for the race, but they're just not up there with the likes of Larne and Linfield. Linfield, obviously, I'll talk about them in a minute, but Climble, I was really annoyed that we're not going to get second, but I have to be honest, we're going to get third. Now we're moving into second. Now, I think Peter said Linfield will win the league in the first game. It's unfortunate not to get Peter on, but I think he said that Linfield will win the league. I said Climble, but Larne are in a prime position right now. I think I actually don't know. I don't want to say something that isn't true, but I don't know how many points ahead they are. Let me go and check. Now, Larne are 5 points ahead of the Blues in a prime position, but I honestly really do think that they are going to bottle it. Because if you looked at that game on Friday night, they just didn't play to their strengths against Ballymena and got beat. Getting beat by Ballymena in the Cup, that could have been their Irish Cup final sorted, and I thought that they would have won it as well. But is that a sign that they're going to bottle it? I think it is, because I think they have the Glens at home in their first game, and that's a huge game. I really do think Larne are going to bottle it. I think I'll talk about Linfield in a minute, but yeah, I think Larne will bottle it and come second. Now, moving into number 1, we're going for the Blues. Now, let's talk about Linfield for a minute. As much as I don't like Linfield, they have made a huge comeback. They won the League Cup. They had a really poor start to the season. Obviously, getting to the final qualifiers of the Conference League and getting beat in penalties by RFS. It wasn't a great start to the season, but they then went on and got beat by Carrick on the Sunday. I remember that as well, celebrating like Climble won the league. But they've just had an amazing comeback. But they did get beat by the Glens twice this season, which is not of usual Linfield standards. But I really think they have the confidence of going into this, of just beating Coleraine. And I think they beat Dungannon 5-0 and Newry 7-0 in their last 2 games. They'll also have the experience of winning leagues, but I just think they will do it. I think Larne have a better team, but I don't think there's only a few players who've won the league in that squad, and they're mostly, I think, Cosgrove. I don't know who else actually, but I think the Blues will win the league. But anyway, this is the end of the video. Cheers for watching, like and subscribe. Be aware there's going to be so much content coming out in the channel during the split. Bring on the split. I'll see you later.